It went all the way.
There's that moment. Can I dive? Should I dive?
Very good follow-up. They've been banging away a lot on a good length. 21 for 2.
For 2, 6 overs gone, and at the moment it's backfired, the decision to bat first by Afghan. You always take a bit of a punt when you come up against the bowling attack, which starts with Archer and Wood. Extreme pace. And they've been on the money. Just one boundary so far. And a 6 as well, which was almost accidental, but it was just illustrating, perhaps, if anything, Michael, the pace of the pitch.
Yes, and the pace of the bowlers, both of them, Archer and Wood, extremely sharp. And this pitch, from what I've seen, I've done the game in Dubai, watched the games on the television of the other venues. This is the best batting surface by a stretch of any in the Champions Trophy so far. Game here the other day, of course, England against Australia, over 700 runs scored. The ball didn't really spin. There was quite a heavy dew. It was hard work for the bowlers of both sides, with more than 350 scored by each team.
I thought it was Dooley on the left.
It does look like it.
It's a dead ringer for Simon Dool. What's he? He's just out of the commentary box down into the Afghan dugout.
I was thinking exactly the thing, and I thought, I don't know who to offend more, whether it would be him or Simon Dool. So, and on that one, mine and Ian Smith look alike.
We're badly for them around here. 21 for 2. Becomes 22 for 2 with a slight element of risk there, but England look sharp. They really do. I think they understand the significance of this game, put this one on the bank, and then they go head-to-head with South Africa, which is a really juicy group, this. Hit that really hard, and that's another boundary. Boy, he flashed really quickly at that, Ibrahim.
He's a guy that likes to play lead side, so any width he punishes, that is very much his strength. England moved the field, they took that slip out of place and put a short catcher at cover point. I thought maybe he was in for an opportunity here, but just the power, Ibrahim, bang. I thought that it would have probably been the catch of today, or the catch of the tournament so far, even surpassing Glenn Phillips.
Putting Glenn Phillips before Alex Carey then.
Oh, how offensive from a wicketkeeper too.
Back-to-back boundaries. That is just as good as the previous one. In fact, it may even be better. Finally, some momentum here for Afghanistan.
Well, this is a terrific shot. The previous ball that he thrashed through the offside was not a particularly good ball for Caning, but this one was a perfectly good delivery from Archer. Nothing wrong with that. Beautiful shot from Ibrahim.
Marginal, but just okay. 7 overs gone, 30 for 2.
You two must be thrilled looking at England then. 4 wicket keepers in the lineup. Hill, Ben Duckett, many wicket keepers as bowlers.
Really didn't know that's where the brains trust is on the side, the keepers. And Bantam in there, well, in Dubai for a month. Tom Banton was outstanding. It was no great surprise to see England give him a call up on the back of that. Of course, Rehan Ahmed has just come into the side, so they've replaced a quick bowler and Cass with a leg spinner, Michael, which is interesting.
Yeah, it may reflect a little bit that England feel that their original selection don't quite give them the variety that they wanted, but they've got cover for the seamers. All the seamers out there at the moment, they've got cover for them anyway. Gus Atkinson is in the squad, Saqib Mahmood is in the squad, so they don't need to call up another seamer. And of course, there is a chance that they could get to Dubai. They need to win both games, and a chance that they could get there. And in which case, from what I've seen in Dubai, you need more than one specialist spinner. Ahmed, who arrived late last evening, I think, here in Lahore.
An interesting point, because I guess most teams probably get one game, maybe two at Dubai. India get a lot of games. How does that actually dictate your selection of your squad? Because let's say England get into the semi-finals and they play one game in Dubai. If they win that, then they come back to Pakistan to play, and it's similar in terms of the same pool as India as well. So it's really effectively one game if you can beat India.
Yeah, you have to mix and match your selections accordingly for different events, which is a challenge that India don't have. Hence, 5 spinners in there. The call that they made was to pick Chakravarti over Jaiswal. So they picked that 5th spinner in the squad for obvious reasons.
This drive, it won't go the whole way. Stick will run it down. Just good bit of work there, Butler in pursuit, and slipped over at the striker's end. Just check the spikes there. It's a new surface. So one side that is through, of course, is outside. On the back of this performance the other night, Rachin Ravindra raced on through. He's got 100 in every competition for the ICC he's played.
But he was thrilled that the photographs for this tournament happened just after he'd been clonked on the head in Karachi.
He is a brilliant player, and of course, if you play the fantasy game, he is right there, 196 points. Look at his forehead, Michael. Look at his batting, 149 for Bracewell. 4 for 26, Michael Bracewell, which was a little bit of a surprise. He bowled 10 overs straight, which doesn't often happen in white ball cricket these days.
Smith said, well, how does he not get photoshopped out of that? And I said, for a start, how did you know what photoshopping was? And I've seen a few pictures of you, mate, and there's been a little bit of work, so, yeah. I feel like you've been picking on actors.
A little bit early to start that, Katie. All eyes on Mark Wood here, because England have already lost one pace bowler. And they've got to be very careful. He's a bit brittle, this fellow. He gives it absolutely everything, which means there is often a niggle or two, and they've decided to go safety first, and he's limping quite bad. I don't think they're going to persevere with him at the bowling crease. I don't.
Fingers crossed for Mark Wood, who's had so many injuries over the years. It's hard to know sometimes when you look at him which is the most vulnerable bit. He's had very bad ankle problems, he's had knee issues, elbow. Obviously this is not elbow, but it's hard to know whether it's knee or ankle. Knees are absolutely battered. The other night against Australia, he must have fallen over and followed through a dozen times. Left knee.
I mean, he's strapped up anyway, like a racehorse on the comeback, but to be fair, it's always when you see strapping, quite often it's precautionary to stop injury or just to strengthen areas, but this is not a good sign. I really would not be persevering with a commodity that's so valuable as Mark Wood, if he's in any doubt at all. And just looking at him try to walk.
We just talked about the pace bowling reserves that England do have. They've got Gus Atkinson, not for this game obviously, but thinking ahead to the next game, which is South Africa Saturday in Karachi. Saqib Mahmood and Gus Atkinson. Obviously they could play another spinner in Rehan Ahmed if they wanted to. slightly different balance. But you're right, this doesn't look good.
I really do think that they're dicing with silly things if they choose to make him continue here. It's not the first time, and it looks like he's going to give it a go. Just with permanent problems if he's at all uncomfortable. I mean, if he's going to run through. The other thing that he does do quite often is fall over in his follow through, which can't be good, cannot be good. So many bowlers will tell you the follow through is so much a part of the action, but toffles all the time, and that cannot be good for the knees. Bang!
Well, it looked good there, thankfully, but we were here late last evening. England were training under lights, and we had a chat with Mark Wood, and he said that his knee was torn and battered and bruised after that first game.
He's not right, I'll tell you. He's absolutely not. He'll get through this last delivery, and then probably I would imagine he'll leave the field, because the stress that goes on that left knee.
He's quite predominant of opening up that front foot when it lands, which actually creates a bit more pressure coming through the inside of the knee, and then the weight going the other way as well.
Get a single. Fell over on his follow through again, Mark Wood. He's not. I mean, just look at him walking. I mean, it's a pronounced limp. 34 for 2.
Just showing it come through here. Just look at his front foot when he lands. It's pretty much pointing at what, third. That is a lot of load going through your knee. A lot of load coming back. And quite often players do fall over like that because he has to naturally rotate a bit further. He automatically moves to the left, so that landing foot down. That was disappointing for Mark Wood in England.
So he will go to the dressing room, Mark Wood, and they'll hope for the best. They might have a bit of a scan or a close look at it anyway. I don't think off that we'll see Mark Wood back at the bowling crease today, which means Tom Banton has come on as the sub fielder.
Just looking at Ibrahim, I talked a bit about him staying leg side of the ball, very much offside dominant. That's why they've got that short gully in. England have sort of started to go a little bit fuller to him to try and angle that ball back into the stumps. And he played it beautifully down the ground, but I don't mind that option of just that full length, just back of a length, to be able to nip back stumps. Maybe that wide one is a variety to say, okay, free your arms and we've got a catcher in place.
.50 wickets for Jofra Archer today, and the quickest to that mark for England. I don't think that measures up if you take other countries and their quickest to 50 matches, but for England, Archer is quickest. James Anderson is here on the ground as England's bowling coach. Archer quicker. There's Jimmy.
I saw a great stat. Well, he's gone off with the knee injury. See how long it takes before he comes back. You want to try and get as much out of him with a new ball as you can. They were so effective, him and Jofra Archer. Just looking at the stat, I saw you were number 4 on the fastest to 1,000 ODI run. Ben Duckett's closing in on that record as well.
No need to say it with a hint of surprise.
Misprint.
I was more wondering where Nasser Hussain was actually.
Standards weren't very high back in the day, I can tell you that.
Ian Smith and I are still counting the runs on. It's only on one hand at the moment, isn't it, Smithy?
Hold it. 38 players in the world actually have got to 50 wickets in less than 30 ODIs, so when you're hot early. Great crowd. When Afghanistan play, they bring a lot of colour and enthusiasm. They just got a problem here, though. They could lose their third because Adil Rashid gets underneath a pretty simple catch in the end. And the problems continue for the side that wanted to bat first.
Yeah, and England fancied that a bit of pace against the Afghan top order would be in their favour. They're both consistently over 90 miles an hour, and that was just a bit too quick. Came off the top edge, and Adil Rashid safely pouching the catch. A third for Archer today, and Afghanistan's top order's gone. Rahmat Shah, the latest 37-50.
Skipper's out there now way too early for what he was expecting when he won the toss and batted first. Hasmat Shahidi's a fair player, but he has to improve on those numbers now all of a sudden. They need a partnership of note, seriously big partnership. Standards were set on this surface the other day, C+, and that just got a little too quick control of the shot. Top edge. And Adil Rashid made good ground, and in the end, very safe underneath it. Happy chap, Jofra Archer at the moment. It's his third wicket in this opening blast. And a bouncer as a welcome. It's 37 for 3 after 9.
Meal for Archer because he had a very difficult evening against Australia. His last 5 overs went for 49. He was given some real punishment by Inglis and Maxwell, actually, who came on.
They're back quite a long way down when you look at Gulbuddin Naib, who's a fair player. He's a very handy all-rounder, but this is a very, very poor. Don't want to be exposed too early. Water's off, and in comes the one legitimate change for the day.
Yeah, Jamie Overton in for Bryden Cass, who toe injury that he was struggling with, well, in Pakistan in the Test series, and in India in the most recent ODI and T20 series. So Overton in for him. Cass has gone home, and that's why Rayan Ahmed is here.
Still quickish. First 2 deliveries around about.
Yeah, and I think that's what England wanted against Afghanistan. Obviously, every team has their own strengths. Afghanistan's very much in the spin department, but England feel that a battery of pace is a good way to go against Afghanistan. So I don't think they ever considered anything other than Overton, who they see as a kind of tall, hit the deck, quickish bowler.
It's definitely that against South Africa they struggled a lot. The balls, Ian Bishop talked about earlier, just the short balls that they bowled at them, and very much that quite players that get quite tall on the shot because they're used to lower bounce. So look at the table, must win for England and Afghanistan. The Africa and England game will be an outstanding one to finish this group.
Well, it's interesting because in Group A, of course, it's said and done who's going through, but all 4 teams have a mathematical possibility here, which is really interesting in Group B. And there's another match here in a couple of days where Afghanistan stay here and Australia come down the road from their rained out affair. And that could be quite significant, as could a real interesting one in Karachi between England and South Africa. Archie is a goodish pitch, more variable than this one. So there when New Zealand played Pakistan, and then a couple of days later South Africa were there, and they took on Afghanistan. So yeah, those games coming up. Afghanistan here twice, today and in 2 days' time, and then that last one could be a game of significance.
What a quick turnaround if you have to then go to Dubai to play what's that semi-final on Tuesday.
Underway is the skipper with an outside edge down to third man. But it's all England at the moment, and they have owned the power play, which is now over at 39 for 3. It's going to be job for Archer to bowl his 6th, and why not? 3 for 21. He's done quite a nice rhythm. Butler has decided that while the ball is new, to throw quite a few from Jofra Archer, who's causing everyone problems with just pace and bounce. His line has been good too. Just have a little recap of the first 10 overs.
Well, it's all Archer, isn't it? 3 wickets for him for the first time in the opening power play. He's bowled quite quickly, as ever. He's bowled wicket to wicket. There's been 1 or 2 good shots. That's probably the best of them. Rahmat, the third man to go, top edging that pull shot to Adil Rashid. So Butler's giving her a 6. He'll be reasonably confident in doing that. England play a balance which sees them with 7 batters, really, a batting-heavy strategy, and just 4 bowlers. But Livingston and Root both bowl well the other evening. They shared 5th bowling duties. They both bowl pretty well. So Butcher will be happy enough giving Archer the extra over here, even though it may expose him a little bit down the line. But Livingston bowled the other night. I think Butler's reasonably confident in him.
Well, let's look at the wickets. Sort of nose and toe stuff, really. The footwork has been not as good as they would have liked, the Afghan players. Just really the fact those short deliveries, and that your feet get stuck at the crease, and then the bouncer option in the end. Just challenging both up at the stumps and then back at the nose as well. Similar plan here, I think, for Archer. Just angle in, short pitch deliveries, mix it up with that fuller length. Gully in, the slip.
Images of the day. They get some great shots, don't they? The snappers. Bale is removed there. Lovely still shots. We are in the business of moving pictures, of course, but these blokes work overtime. They pick out some absolute golden shots that go into publications around the world. They get circulated, and they miss very, very little. Too high for Joel.
Those ones are better asses where you know that they're probably likely to bowl short, and then full as well. But in your mind, you're thinking, can you move feet? Can you move? And sometimes they just stay in place.
The difficulty for the left-hander to Archer, although he's round the wicket now, is that he's so wicket to wicket that bouncer, you can lose sight of it. It's a blind spot just over the left-hander's leading shoulder. Bowls a very straight bouncer usually. It doesn't allow you to sway or duck very easily inside or outside the line of it. As Steve Smith found out famously at Lord's in 2019.
Trying to invent something that possibly was there, but it was fraught with a bit of risk as well. They just cannot handle England at the moment, it seems.
Almost mistook that for the wicket there for a second.
I love the system that they've got here, right? So they've got 3 or 4 lanes for the cars and motorbikes, but they have got the middle lanes are the bus system, which is absolutely brilliant thinking. And they have the stations all the way along. But in terms of public transport, I think it's a great system. Now, I was studying this out of the window of the hotel in Islamabad, and I thought to myself, that is great. Why has someone else not thought of that?
Just as you were saying that then, there was a bus in the middle lane there that completely cut up.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a
young cyclist.
It wasn't a red bus.
Did you come up from Pindi the other day by road?
Yeah. But the bus lane didn't last all the way, as you'll find out tomorrow when you head up that way. And into the attack. It didn't spin much the other night, in fact, but this might be a bit of a relief. And maybe a release, too, for Afghanistan in a way. Their attitude now will be interesting.
Well, Rashid was outstanding as ever against Australia with under fire. England were from all corners, but Rashid held his nerve in the middle overs. He picked up a beautiful wicket of Labuschagne. Really slow, loopy, tempted Labuschagne to hit the ball in the air and bowled absolutely beautifully.
So England have maintained a slip, which I think's really good. You've got protector out on the offside to your left there at cover point, a long off, deep forward sort of square leg and a long. So there's cover in there on the boundaries.
I think what I love about this field, though, even though they've got long on and long off back, the extra cover in the mid wicket, quite aggressive within the ring. So they're trying to hunt that one, trying to restrict the one, and we know what we saw in Pindi. If the batters can rotate, if they can hit it to the boundary right, they get a good rhythm. But Rashid here can just build the dots with the support of his field inside that circle, sort of the in-out field that you see in Test cricket. Yep. Slip and place him. What's he going away from the left-hander here?
There are 12 overs gone here in Lahore at 42 for 3.
So it's a change of ends for Jamie Overton. Very tidy in his first one. That was to replace Mark Wood, who's gone off a troublesome knee. Shmad on strike now, and he's round the wicket to him. Well, he's got some pace. It's not quite Mark, but he's a strong lad, and he hits the pitch hard. Few Afghani supporters in. Yeah, it's slowly growing. It's what we saw the other evening, actually, in that game against Australia. Come the end of it, this place was rocking. It was. England have been excellent the first 12 overs and 3 balls of this game. Good afternoon, Simon Dale, Dale Steyn. What did you make of Jofra's performance with the ball? It's away, but doesn't beat wide mid-on.
Good afternoon, guys. Sorry, I just had a bit of my own earpiece problems over there. But yeah, Joff Archer was fantastic today. He just managed his length so well. Rushed the batters with pace when he got full. They were in the slot, but that's what you're able to get those rewards because of the balls that he bowled in the build-up to that. So good pace, bounces, having the batter's feet stuck in the crease, goes full, hits the stumps, hits the pads. LBW bowls a short ball, not quite there on the back foot, and the pull gets caught at fine leg. So fantastic opening spell for Jofra Archer. And I believe it's the first time he's taken 3 wickets inside the feathers that he's bowled. So that's a little feather in his cap too for today.
Well, it's putting them in a very strong position so far. By and large, they bowl better lengths today, and they hit the pitch hard. They were guilty a little bit the other against Australia, been a bit short and wide, perhaps a few too many cutters, run up, hit back of a length.
It hasn't necessarily been short pitch bowling, it's just been good hard length, and that's what South Africa, I think, showed against